Midterm elections will be held precisely 6 weeks from today.
These races will determine which party controls the House and Senate and put President Biden's political strength to the test. Vermont Senator and former presidential candidate Bernie Sanders says Democrats need to focus on several issues, including expanding health care, raising the minimum wage, and lowering the cost of education.
We have got to end the absurdity of being the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all people. We should have the guts to take on the pharmaceutical industry. Charges us 10 times more for particular drugs than the people of any other country. We should raise the minimum wage to a living wage. We should expand Social Security. Every kid, regardless of income, has the opportunity to get a college education, not leave school deeply in debt. That means making public colleges and universities tuition free.
So joining us now is CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe. Ed, we know that all Democrats don't fall in lockstep with Senator Sanders and some of the issues that he discussed this morning. How deep is the divide right now in the Democratic Party as we're looking at these midterms?
Well, I think there's general agreement and understanding that the economy and issues of how do we bring prices down for people as they face inflation are a big top-of-mind concern for voters and something Democrats will be evaluated on at the polls. And so there's really no disagreement there. It's perhaps in the details and how exactly to do it. Sanders has been singing that song pretty consistently for the last 10, 12 years or so. And there are Democrats who would agree with him on all that, but there are others who would handle it differently. I think if you look at what, for example, the president's announcing today, reminding people that it looks like Medicare premiums are coming down next year on average, is a sign of the kind of work that Democrats are looking to campaign on this fall as they hear from voters that things are too expensive. This is an example of them being able to bring prices down for a certain group of people. Many other changes that they've been trying to make with the legislation passed. So more than anything, I think what Sanders understands is if you're going to win elections as Democrats across the country, you got to motivate your base voters. They are seniors to some extent. They are women. They are younger people. And for all those people, for various reasons, the cost of things is a big concern right now.
Absolutely. You know, Ed, you just mentioned younger people, and I want to double click on something that Bernie touched on, which is education. I'm just coming back from spending some time with young, college-age voters in California, specifically Latinos, and what a lot of people talked about was education. The Congressional Budget Office just said that President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan, which is incredibly popular among this population that I mentioned, will cost the federal government, or is expected to, about $400 billion. Could that price tag become a problem for Democrats trying to promote this plan among voters?
And it's $400 billion over several years. But yes, it could, because there are those, unlike those college students you spoke to, or other families that are going to see the benefits of the forgiveness, who say, I never went to college, or if I did go to college, I paid off my loans, or I paid off the loans of my kids. Why should we be doing this? The argument that Democrats and those that support this decision make is it's a fairness issue, that these kids were perhaps not fairly treated by banks and deserve some relief to help close the wealth gap in this country. There are those that are going to see this as a bad thing, but they probably weren't inclined to vote for or support the president or Democrats to begin with. Really, what over the course of the last year, as this was debated in the White House, it was understood this was primarily, well, they say, an issue of economic fairness and something they wanted to do to help people. Yeah, but they also knew the politics of this. Yeah. The politics is they believe the people who will benefit from it are more likely to be motivated than those that are going to find it unfair. The question going forward is whether it's going to stand a test in court. There was a lawsuit filed today. There likely will be others in the coming weeks to contest the legality of this decision to do so. Let's see what happens there, and if over time that causes more problems for the White House beyond pure politics.
Well, Ed, you are anchoring Red and Blue tonight, 6 weeks away from the midterms. Got your engines started. What are you most excited about?
We are going out on the campaign trail to North Carolina, one of those states that has a competitive Senate race this fall. We will get a preview of the January 6th hearings as well, and we'll talk with a senior White House official about some of the things we were just discussing, issues of dollars and cents and the cost of things, all coming up at 5 Eastern here on the streaming network.
Big day tomorrow. We look forward to that preview. Ed O'Keefe, it's good to see you.
Take care.
And a reminder, you can stream the day's political news on Red and Blue tonight, starting at 5 p.m. Eastern.